On April 13th, 2005, a hiker began what was supposed to be a gorgeous hike at Volcanoes National Park in Hawaii when they were stopped dead in their tracks. What that hiker found left them speechless. It was the body of 44-year-old Arman B. Jones. According to investigators, he had been unalived with a hand pew-pew, and it had gone through his upper back neck. But what had happened, and why had it happened to Arman, who so many people said had such a magic personality? Well, before we can get into that, if you're new here, my name is Em, and we make videos on these kinds of topics. If that's something you enjoy, please consider tapping that like button and subscribing. We did just hit 1,000. Big thanks to all of you, but that really helps keep these videos coming to you for free. So thank you in advance, and let's get back to the story. Now, not much is known about Arman in his early years other than he was born in 1961. In 1980, Arman began college at Evergreen State College in Seattle, Washington. In 1984, Arman graduated from that college with a bachelor's degree in sports medicine. Now, shortly after graduating, his friend, one of his college friends, they moved to the Big Island, Hawaii, and they convinced Arman to move with them. So, 1984, fresh out of college, Arman arrives in Hawaii. He meets this couple, a retired police officer and his wife, and they agree to let Arman live with him. He lives with them for 5 years, and then he moves out and in with another friend's mom. And he lives at her house for 4 more years before returning to the home of the retired police sergeant and his wife. And this is where Arman is living when everything goes down. Now, in the years occupying the gap, 1984 to 2005, Arman kept busy. He was a member of the Solid Rock Ministries and did a lot of outreach work there, as much as he could handle. He also volunteered much of his time at the local high school, Hilo High School, as an athletic trainer for the teens. And then up there with his passion for massage therapy was his volunteer work with local autistic children, where he was a therapeutic aide. Arman really was such a giving person. One of his friends had a relative who was on their deathbed, and Arman showed up and would massage this relative for hours, and he showed up week after week after week until this relative passed away, and he refused to take a single dime. And as if Arman wasn't doing enough already, he also spent some of his free time hosting a local radio show, KWXX, which was a reggae show. All is going well for Arman. It's April 11th, 2005. He's at the home of the retired police sergeant and his wife. They're not home, but one of their friends is there. So it's just Arman and their friend. Arman says, I have to go out. I don't know if he was doing volunteer work or what exactly he was doing, but he's like, hey, I have to go. I'll be back later. Nothing out of the ordinary. Arman is a busy guy. He's always going out and doing stuff. He'll be back later this night, right? So later that night, Arman didn't come home. So that's when they reported him first missing. No one knows where he went, what happened, until 2 days later when we reunite with our hiker friend. So this person was visiting Hawaii's Volcano National Park. There are 6 trailheads in this area here. Minutes after leaving the trailhead, which wasn't far off of the highway mile marker 71, the hiker noticed something odd off in the distance, something that shouldn't be there. So they just kept going, figuring, okay, we'll figure it out when we get there. And as they got closer and closer, they noticed that it was a person. So they immediately called 911, and that's when police showed up and an investigation was launched. Now, Arman was only wearing swim trunks, a tank top, rubber sandal slippers, and socks. And if you see this area, it's not proper attire at all. Not something anyone would wear when they're going for a walk out here. They couldn't find Arman's car anywhere It still hasn't been found. There's a lot of theories about what happened to it, but no trace of it has been found anywhere. They also determined that the location where Arman was found is more than likely where the crime took place, because it didn't look like the body had been moved or drugged from anywhere or to anywhere. Now it has been nearly 20 years since this tragic unaliving of Arman B. Johnson, and we are left with so many more questions than we have answers. So let's go over some of these speculations. Now keep in mind, these are all speculations. There's no solid evidence. I've told you what we know. Now, Arman's friends couldn't think of a single person who could even think of laying a hand on Arman. In his obituary, it said, "He was a very special person who touched many lives with his generous spirit, contagious laugh, and healing gift of massage." So was it his generosity that got him in trouble? Maybe one of the outreaches through the Solid Rock Ministries had angered the wrong person and they were trying to get revenge on him? Or maybe was it his massage business? Did he have a client there maybe and things got a little out of hand and an affair began, and so an angry spouse stepped in to try and solve the problem? Or maybe the client was the one angry at Arman for not taking things further? Some of Arman's friends mentioned that he occasionally dabbled in recreational use, but it wasn't anything serious, and it didn't seem like something that he would go into debt over. Like, he didn't owe anyone money for it, because he would have to be doing it a lot more. Maybe he had angered some gang members while getting some, but it just didn't make sense. Lastly, we do have the possibility of a mistaken identity. This one, I think, is personally my biggest hunch. I mean, he seems like such a nice guy. I feel like no one would really go out for him. But let me know what you think. Again, these are all speculations. If you know anything else about Arman, or if you know anything about the case that I missed, please leave a comment in the comments. Let's start a chat. Maybe someone can dig something up and help the FBI and get that $20,000 reward, whatever their reward was. I don't know. Anyways, if you've made it this far, big thank you to all of you. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.